Hello, Dave King, Chairman, Founder, Triple Crown Sports. We're here to talk about the Colorado 4th of July and some of the changes that we've made recently. So I'm going to kind of walk through. My guests today are tournament directors Stephanie Clevitter and Allison Carter, and they're going to be able to explain some of the things that we've gone through to get where we're at today. So I'm going to start you through the basics, which is the current Colorado regulations. History on where we're at with this. Most of you have seen what we've done out there in the marketplace, our diagrams, our procedures, our protocols, and we've been through a very, very lengthy process with the state of Colorado to get to where we're at, but we don't have all good news in that space. So the first thing is on June 6th, the Colorado Department of Health issued the following order effective immediately, which was that adult and youth tournaments that attract crowds of travelers are prohibited. So my reaction when we got this Saturday morning was obviously not real strong. And from your standpoint, Steph, as the leader here, what was your thoughts when I called you with this new interpretation or the new order from the state?
Yeah, so we left the office on Friday evening feeling really good about our conversations with the governor and the Colorado Health Department, our city partners. And it was pretty devastating for us, the fight that we've put in for all of you guys to get back out on the field for this event has been more than I think any of us ever thought we could put in. So it was pretty devastating.
So with that thought, then they did approve something. So all of our efforts didn't go completely out. And then this is going to have a relevant yes point for us later on, that recreational sports leagues, or actually sports leagues for adults or kids, were approved. So we were able to get Colorado up for sports leagues. And this order is for an undefined period of time, which means I don't know when the next guidance will pop up again. We have requested what's called a variance, which means that we need a sponsor at the county, the city facility owner, and the state that would back this. We've applied for a variance through a county here in Colorado, Larimer County, and through the city, Fort Collins, for a variance in this situation to allow tournaments, not just sports leagues. So that's the first framework of where we're at today that's going to affect a number of things that we tell you, is this process we've been in. What is approved in Colorado is youth leagues following COVID-19 guidance. So the first thing I would say to each of you about what's been approved is the general definition of masks, and I'm going to let Allie jump in on this one for me, and kind of explain where we're at with masks and what's going to happen with masks on the ball field in this guidance.
There we go. With the interpretation of the number of players that we can have, basically the mass of players that we can have is groups of 25. We're working on getting those numbers defined with our facilities and with our partners, and spectators are welcome at the park but have to do the social distancing. And the best part is they have removed, with the players being out on the field, the need for masks during that playing period.
So we've seen that here today. We started our first day camp here with 75 kids on 3 diamonds, and we were able to go out onto the field with no mask, come back in the dugout. If there was tight quarters, put them back up. But those of you that are going to play will realize sanitization process, but masks are no longer a requirement on the diamond itself, and all the basic rules of the game. We made up of teams based in the local area, not needing extensive travel. So what the state said is that teams that have exhaustive, was the word they used, exhaustive travel, don't fit where we're at right now without a variance. And that local is undefined. So we're not sure what local means, but we think it means the local area drive radius teams, where you can come and go each day from whatever that radius is. And that is more of where Colorado's at right now. We have requested a special variance to continue on as a tournament and with outside of area teams. So we do have it on file to request, but we're in a time sequence. And I think all of you know that time sequence affects every decision all of us make. If we got that variance, it would change a lot of things. But right now, as of today, we need to move and we need to have you move forward in what your plans are. But it has not been approved as or permitted as we speak. And that would be a variance to have out-of-town teams from out of state drive in and play in a tournament-based format. Out-of-state teams entered in Colorado for 4th of July options right now. So I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to try to do this double through it twice, because the out-of-state teams I'm going to start with, then we're going to finish with the good options for our in-state teams. But for out-of-state teams entered in Colorado, you can transfer to Houston on June 12th. We'll post game times, and June 12th is Friday, so you'd have to let us know. We'll post game times June 22nd with the July 1 to 5 format, the same special individual events on the 30th, the 1st, and the 6th. We're currently at over 180 teams and a ton of talent. And we have room for 50 more. And Allie, why don't you comment on what you're seeing in Houston and how long, where we're at with that. We actually are playing there starting Monday with the State Texas tournament.
Correct. Houston is in the process of basically playing ball the way that the game has always been played. There is some sanitization that we're throwing in between games, spray bottles so teams can spray down the dugout before they leave. But as far as major disturbances because of the COVID-19 rules, we haven't seen those in Houston at this time.
So one of your choices would be to move your money if you're an out-of-state team to Houston. The second choice then would be to transfer to Chattanooga, and basically the same way. June 12th, we would transfer. We'll post game times June 22nd with the July 1 to 5 format, special individual events the 30th, the 1st, and the 6th. We are at 75 teams, and many top clubs are involved all over the East and Southeast. I mean, it's loaded. But we have room for just 25 more. So, Steph, would you comment on Chattanooga for me?
Yeah, as far as Chattanooga goes, we're really excited about that regional event. The teams that are coming to it are top notch, and it's going to be fun to watch all of them play. We do have room for a few more teams, not as many in Chattanooga. And then the safety protocols are very similar to Houston. They're starting to play in Chattanooga as well, and we'll have cleanings and a few regulations in place, but nothing that will change the game.
The next one is SoCal, and the best way we can state it is question at this time, meaning we don't know where that guidance is going to come. We have rented private facilities, BLD facilities, for the event, and should the state approve it or give us a variance to be able to operate games there, then we would be on a private facility and wouldn't have to go multiple steps. Some of our issues here have to do with the fact that we have to go multiple layers to the county and then to the city because of how fields are owned. And then the next one is you could keep your entry on hold here in Colorado. If you didn't want to go to Houston, you didn't want to go to Chattanooga, and you wanted to chase it one more week, then we can hold your entry for another week till June 19th in case we get a requested county variance to play in the tournament with out-of-state teams. I'm not ruling that out, but the time windows are such that I think you need to be able to react. Keep in mind that we had 130 out-of-state and about 130 in-state teams registered at this moment in that. So we still have 130 teams left on the slate in Colorado, and we actually anticipate picking up more. The Independence Day tournament was canceled in Boulder, and those teams are welcome to cross over and play with us. And our approval process, I'll explain to you now, we have fields for local teams, but it would be those Boulder teams that were Colorado-based again. And then one of the things that you need to know is that we will work hard to ensure release of your lodging deposits. Steph, why don't you comment on that?
Yeah, well, we were on the phone with several of the major hotel partners today, and they're all saddened that they're not going to be able to host as many teams this summer, but they are all very understanding and will work with us through this process.
So again, to walk you back through that, you can transfer out-of-state teams. You can transfer to Houston. You can transfer to Chattanooga. You could take a wild card on Southern Cal, or you could hold on out-of-state teams and wait another week and with no plan to get in either one of those. I wouldn't say that they would both be closed out, but they should be closed out close by then. Transfers are entries into, and so let's just take your money. It's sitting there. You've got a decision to make on playing ball, and then we're going to come back. You could keep your funds on hold for the 2021 tournament entry for Colorado, plus we're putting a 20% credit to use in 2021. So you would have some extra funds to do some things for your players for spin events or things of that nature that you wanted. That's choice number, not one, but it is a choice in there. The second one is that we anticipate, due to what COVID did, we're going to have to restructure somewhat, and we believe we're going to end up taking less teams for 2021. So it might be a good idea to get that registration on deposit, meaning we could come back down in size based on how things are done and the spacing that we're required to put teams through at this time. The next option is to request a refund less the 20% admin fee. And you could put that in the hopper, and I'll explain to you on any of these what the call to action would be, things that you would need to process. The next one is to use your full transfer funds to go play in a TC championship event. We have 7 cities that are hosting. We'll explain where each of those cities are at so that you could transfer into a championship. Or you could make a full transfer into any other TCS summer ending event or fall regional event, i.e. the Zoom in SoCal, Ronald McDonald in Texas, the Las Vegas event, which was one of our tops. We have 2 weeks of that with showcasing at maybe more of a mid-tier level. Our Virginia Beach, the same type team-based format. The Dawn Battles On in SoCal, the Arizona Fall Tournament showcasing, the Chicago Super 72, or the Valley Invite in the Northwest. So again, you have a couple choices on transfer. One is championships and 2 is our fall slate. If you wanted to make that transfer, then you would need to notify us on this decision out of state. And Steph, I'm going to let you talk about it because it's going straight to you, and there's going to be a lot of traffic here on this, I'm sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be sending out an email to you guys tomorrow morning, first thing as well, just going back over all of this information. And then if you could just let us know, June 12th would be great, because we're going to be working on scheduling the Tennessee and the Texas events so that we can get you guys into those, and then also California, and then what you'd want to do with transferring. And then if we don't hear from you guys by then we'll reach out to you again.
And if you were an in-state team and you wanted to then move to Houston or Chattanooga, that's an option. I would tell you they don't have an ordinance against traveling teams, but we expect a very good tournament here, and I'm going to talk about that. Summer Triple Crown Championships, let's talk about transfer. The Austin area is offering all divisions with very strong registration. So Texas, the championship, our summer championship slate in Texas, the dates on that I don't have listed here, but they're on our website. And all these events are mid-July to the 1st of August range, and you can check those out. Myrtle Beach is another story, meaning it's almost full right now. We're approved there. We're playing there in South Carolina right now. Texas goes up on Monday. Austin's got a tighter ordinances, but feel good about everything. But Myrtle is approved and playing ball right now and is almost full. The next one is Atlanta. It's been approved and offering all divisions, and it's got very strong registrations in it. So those are 3 very strong choices from Texas across. If we get into the West, Park City, Utah. Utah's approved, up and playing right now. And we're offering just the 14s from the West, limited space, or from anywhere. Beautiful ski town, mountain experience if that's what your kids want, but 14s almost full. Reno, we're expecting approval very soon. Las Vegas just came up. We expect Reno's right behind. We're offering 10s and 12s there. But we could add a 16 and 18 bracket if for some reason we lost San Diego. And then San Diego's approval pending for 16s and 18s. It's the only major county that's asked for a true total variance from the governor of California, meaning they believe they're up and ready to run in the event window right now. And then the last one is Portland, and we're working on approval or an alternative site, meaning Oregon and Washington in general are struggling granting dates and days right now. So in a sense of humor here, we've been calling the governors for their opinion what to do, then the counties, then the cities, then the mother-in-laws of everyone involved. Basically, we've done all we can think of to try to get some of these places open. And that's our list right now. So Austin, Myrtle, Atlanta, Park City, Reno, very good to go right now to transfer entries to play some championship ball. Any comments that either one of you would want to make about those?
I would just say that we've got great groups of teams that are coming to all of those events, and they're a really nice option for teams looking for a competitive championship to go to.
Okay, Colorado-based teams. So those of you that don't want to hear about the Colorado options, or if you're just entertained with seeing what people have to do to learn to play ball and get up and play ball and recreate themselves, you can go ahead and listen. But this is for Colorado-based teams. We have new options, and those new options are based on a new Colorado League starting next week, which means we have a city, county, and state approval to go ahead and play these leagues, and the Colorado 4th of July will be part of it, meaning we have a way to play it in a league-based format. Note, we are building a similar product in Colorado Baseball League, and we'll announce it tomorrow. So if you have brothers in this space, it's very similar situation, and it's been a real positive experience to build this. I wished we could take out-of-state teams in this league format right now, but it's pushing the bubble until we have the variants. So let's look at Colorado 4th of July under the Triple Crown Youth Summer Fastpitch League. What does it look like? June 30th would be our college sports evaluation event tied to it, which means where we analyze where a player's at using college coaches and tell them what their fit is. Go ahead and explain this from here, Steph.
So we'd be looking at a series then of doubleheaders throughout the rest of the week for teams. And on July 1st, we'd start those games, and most teams would play 2 games throughout then the weekend.
So an 8-game format, league style, pool play style. And then the specialty individual events would be played on the 30th, the 1st, and the 6th, meaning our individual all-star games, our CSE, on-deck camp, those types of things would be fit in there. And then our college camps, which right now we're doing a college report on Friday, but right now I think all of you are very aware that we won't have Power 5s or D1s running camps in anything in the July window. And so those would be camps run by D2s, D3s, NAIs, JUCOs collectively for the betterment of the teams. College coaches will be hired from around the drive radius area for these events. We anticipate being able to keep 100-plus college coaches at each regional, which means Chattanooga, Houston, Colorado would be able to get their regional representative of D2, D3, NAI, and JUCO. And D2 still got a little gray to go through on quiet period versus dead period, but I believe they'll make some headway on this one when we get there. The next thing is streaming is planned at many venues. We have Flow tied in to some of the venues, and others we anticipate using some platforms like Athletes Go Live. And the next one, many colleges are expected to stay and recruit this event. We make it worth their while to do that by trying to land them lodging and do some other things for them. But it's going to be based on approval of their college and their division. Colorado weekends, meaning what would you get if you joined the Colorado League system? It's 24 to 32 games. We're going to start next Friday. And so that would be played in the Fort Collins, Loveland area, which is the first city, county, state cycle of approval we have for fields. So we have 6-game formats, 2 each day, league style, pools together in what we would call similar talent, June 19th through 21st. The second one would be the 26th through 28th. We did not have anything scheduled, so this would be an addition, meaning replacing some of the other events that we didn't play this spring, but we believe this was going to be in a more towards the Denver metro area for this league weekend. And then July 1st through 5th, an 8-game format in pools in part of this overall league. So now it would be the 3rd week of our league format, our weekend leagues, played the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, designed for single elimination if we got approval. Meaning if we got approval for a tournament finish, we'd put a single on it. Greater Northern Colorado area is reserved and ready to go, but we're still going to push to land Denver metro area if we could get it. July 10 to 12 would be another 6-game format and pool site to be determined. Our goal here is to put it in the Denver metro area. And so we hope that Northern Colorado will lead out some of the fringes of the Denver metro area and we'll be able to pull this off. And then our final week would be August 5th through 8th. And I think you see a big gap there, and I want to explain it to you a couple ways. We still think this is a very attractive championship window for you, either to play with us between July 13th and August 4th, or to play with whatever governing body. I still think you should get out there and drive somewhere and play in a championship event to keep this game doing what it's doing for all of us. It's still a very, very big plus. But the 5th through 8th, we would finish either in a tournament, state tournament style finish, or it would be the final league if we never got tournaments approved. But that's our 5 weekends of league. You could get 32 ball games out of that to go with whatever you piece together. I think that could get you closer to that 60 to 70 game norm in the summer, plus a fall window you could put on it, which we believe are very good choices. Your team can play as a full-time league participant in all of them, or just as a guest league team in one weekend. So picture it that way. You could enter one weekend and play your pool games there, or you could play in the whole thing. Pricing will be very similar to an existing tournament, meaning we've added a slightly more guaranteed games, shrunk the award package on a weekend for a pool win, and basically that registration fee that you've got on would get you the more ball games. So that's the Colorado weekends of the Triple Crown Youth Fastpitch League. So kind of put it in perspective, I believe there'll be others that try to follow our formatting. The issue that we will find and they will find is even if you create this, you need to have a city-county sponsor that will back it. Just because the state said youth leagues are up does not mean the city-county sponsor will back it. Right now, we have enough dates in Northern Colorado to play everything on this slate. The next thing is Denver-based teams. If you want to help us in this process, we could use your help in securing fields if we can't get them. The political force of you down there of saying, hey, I could get Arvada landed, or I could get, maybe move, nudge Aurora, good luck, or things of this nature would be very beneficial. But in a league-based format, from drive radius teams, this makes an awful lot of sense. Transfer or enter the TC Youth Summer League, how would you do it? If you've entered one of our tournaments, then we've got you on the contact list and to move your team into the league. We will do this within the next 6 days. So either Steph or Haley Martinez will reach out. However, if you have not entered, you can do it by Monday to get in the first weekend. After that, it will be available. And I would urge you that if you're the Oklahoma option or the Kansas option or the Texas option, whatever option you've come up with on how to play ball in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I would urge you that we're going to do a really good job executing this league in such a style that it feels very similar. It just won't have a bracket finish, and you'll be grouped from start to finish on one facility. There will be no shared wealth. We'll be able to do our guidelines by staying on one facility with one group of teams and finishing out. We'll begin that league June 19th through 20th, so that's next Friday, the 19th. It would be in different sites on different weekends is our goal, but we do have the Northern Colorado area ready to go if we couldn't get other sites. And it will not be designed for long-distance teams with overnight stays to meet the state protocols. League directors in that would be Stephanie Clevitter and Haley Martinez, who has been running our Colorado events, tournaments. TC facility, and this is just a specialty deal we're doing at our facility here, and I would tell you this is just if you want to play 3 Tuesdays. We have 3 Tuesday leagues coming up on our three field facility here at Triple Crown. We designed this before we got approval for the rest of the leagues. If you want to get in, Kelly Berry or KB, as you know her, would be able to get you in. Doubleheader format. There's her email address at Triple Crown Sports. It begins June 16th. We'll play the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th on Tuesday. 14, 16s, and 18s. We want to add 4 teams into it to play with us. We have 1 committed, so we need 3 more to play against our teams in more of a league format that would go for 3 weeks. However, 1:30, 3:30, and 5:30 are the slots. So if you don't call me if you don't want to play on 1:30, if your rotation came up. I mean, you're going to have to figure out if you want to play in this, and it's just umpire fees only is basically what we're asking. So I think in summary, if you look at where we're at and just kind of put this in perspective and say, yes, we had a setback in Colorado. Yes, no, we put some stuff together in Colorado. We're able to do some things. On Friday, we're going to give another update to America. This is just Colorado 4th of July entered teams on this update. And we'll update our college survey on recruiting and roster size, meaning we have almost 250 college coaches reported back on where they're at now with their roster size and recruiting, where their college plans are at. With the advent of D1 being out now till July 31st, and actually the rumor has it that it may be all the way to September 1st, then what are their plans for the summer? What are their methods for seeing players? What do they recommend and are the steps to be seen if one of your kids wants to be seen? So that's Friday. We'll give additional 4th of July updates if we have any. If for some reason we landed a variance, we would give that. And then the TC Championship updates on where we're at on filling those. So with that said, Steph or Al, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
Just a great big thank you to all of you guys for the conversations over the last couple months, for your patience with us as we tried to navigate through this time, and we tried to be as honest as we could with you all, and thanks for hanging on with us as long as you guys have, and we look forward to getting out there this summer somewhere with you on the ball field.
Al?
I joined Steph in the thank you to all the teams that have hung with us through this process and been patient. Another thank you to our facility partners. They have been working their tails off trying to get us to the right people, trying to convince their city councils and their city managers and their health departments of everything that we're doing. So without our facility partners who will be with us again in 2021 through the Colorado 4th of July, it's definitely not their call, and they are on our side, and they really want to see us back on the field too. So thank you to them.
Now, I know this is going to trigger a lot of questions from a lot of you, and so I would just say, just slow the process down in your mind a little bit and say we're updating Friday. You've got until Friday after we update again on Friday if anything changed, but out-of-state teams, you need to lay down new plans. In-state teams, you got some choices to play ball now, and a lot of it. So good news, bad news mixed in there. And we're going to keep pushing to get tournaments and out-of-state teams approved here in Colorado and in every state. And don't you on your end stop the push. I was very despondent on Saturday when I got this news. And I would tell you the best thing in the world is to get back up, get on the horse, and see if we can't get ourselves back playing ball. Play it safely, and we did a good job. We put good protocols. All of you have followed them. So again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you on Friday at 11 a.m. About what's next with the 4th of July and the championships. Thank you.